What's good, YouTube? This is Butcher. We back with another video. Today, they saying there's new footage of Pooh Shiesty killing EBG, EJ, homie after Pooh Shiesty release. So, y'all know Pooh Shiesty. He was on a little sit down for a little minute for, I think, I don't know if it was a murder or attempted murder. I don't know. But he was sitting down for 5. He got released early, and they saying he killed somebody right after his release. So we just gonna jump into it and see what information we could get from this. Let's jump into it.
I just like two of my homeboys. Forever be get back gang.
We might finally have the person responsible for the 2 homeboys EBG was talking about. New footage just surfaced online, and fans are convinced Pooh Shiesty was caught on camera killing EBG E-Jizzle.
Pooh Shiesty? Oh my god. What is going on with y'all? English. Pooh Shiesty? Come on, Pooh Shiesty? Come on, man.
Homie right after getting released. Now, with E-Jizzle calling for revenge, it's starting to look like Pooh Shiesty might have been safer behind bars. Let me break it down. The lick that started all the smoke. Memphis is in flames right now. A grainy 37-second video, filmed in what looks like a dimly lit parking lot off Airways Boulevard, has exploded across social media. It allegedly shows Pooh Shiesty himself, fresh out of federal custody, firing at a car belonging to one of EBG E-Jizzle's closest homies.
Hold on. My attention that I got right. How the freak do you say Pooh Shiesty and then say Pooh Shiesty regularly? Like, where did you get Pooh Shiesty from? Is that like a little nickname of like Pooh Shiesty that I didn't know of? Come on.
Within hours, Pooh Shiesty and Get Back Gang were trending worldwide. And with E-Jizzle already vowing revenge, fans are asking the one question nobody wants to say out loud. Did Shiesty really come home just to catch another body? The clip is brutal. A black Dodge Charger pulls up. Voices shout. Then, 6 flashes echoing through the night. One man collapses near the hood. If true, this means Shiesty's alleged first move after walking out of prison was taking out EBG's right-hand soldier. A move that could ignite Memphis all over again. And here's where it gets even darker. According to local Memphis insiders and pages like Rap Alert, the location in the viral clip matches the same area EBG members frequent. You can even hear someone in the background yell, "EBG out here," right before shots ring out. Whether or not it's authentic, the perception is what matters. And in street culture, perception can kill faster than bullets. Now, remember, Pooh Shiesty was just released earlier this month after serving a reduced federal sentence for conspiracy to possess firearms in furtherance of crimes of violence. His early release surprised many. Some fans celebrated his return. Others warned that old demons were waiting for him. Even Charleston White himself, in an interview, predicted something like this.
Now Pooh Shiesty.
That's my boy. Them Pooh Shiesty babies, now they gonna be something. We got to do something with them motherfuckers. I ain't bullshit. Them motherfuckers destroy America. They the gremlins.
And now, it feels prophetic. He was supposed to be rebuilding, reconnecting with Gucci Mane's 1017, and planning an album book combo for his comeback. But if this footage is real, that comeback might have just turned into a countdown. But one fact is clear. Memphis hasn't been this tense since Dolph's murder. Street corners that used to bump Shiesty's music are now silent. Murals are being defaced, and whispers of retaliation are everywhere. Because here's the thing, this isn't just a random feud between rappers. It's personal, historical, and layered. Before Pooh Shiesty ever hit Billboard charts, before Back in Blood blew up, before Gucci Mane signed him to 1017, this rivalry had already claimed lives and reputations on both sides. To understand the chaos we're watching unfold, we have to rewind to the lick that started all the smoke.
It started from really from a burglary.
According to EBG E-Jizzle's own account, someone broke into a house and stole some items, and the perpetrators tried to make it seem like they had robbed someone significant or done something noteworthy.
Broke in the house and stole some, and really try to put it like they extorted something, but they really did some junk. You know how they go. These doing what you supposed to do when you were 14, 15, breaking the house, busting windows out of it.
In E. Jizzle's eyes, this was juvenile behavior, the kind of petty crime that teenagers engage in, nothing worth bragging about or turning into a street reputation. But when the other side started rapping about it and portraying it as something more significant than it actually was, that's when things started to escalate beyond simple street politics. The situation intensified dramatically when Pooh Shiesty released his breakout collaboration with Lil Durk, Back in Blood. But for E.B.G.E. Jizzle, the song wasn't just another Memphis banger climbing the charts, it was personal.
The song, yeah, you can tell I took it as a diss, but it just, the reason what made me respond because it was just false as hell. Like, it just was a whole bunch of make-believe and exaggerated situation. So that what just made me respond.
The way E. Jizzle saw it, Pooh Shiesty and his team were taking creative liberties with the truth, exaggerating situations, and essentially building their reputation on fabrications. What bothered E. Jizzle most wasn't just that he felt Pooh Shiesty was capping in his music, but that he was glorifying situations that never happened the way they were being portrayed.
You know, I was just like, man, yeah. I just hate capping that shit.
The tension reached another critical point when E.B.G.E. Jizzle was shot, an incident that would become the subject of intense speculation, misinformation, and street rumors that spread like wildfire through Memphis and beyond. The circumstances surrounding the shooting were complex and rooted in domestic drama rather than the beef with Pooh Shiesty, but that didn't stop people from trying to connect it to the ongoing conflict. The actual shooting happened when E. Jizzle found himself caught in the middle of someone else's domestic dispute.
So I guess the whole thing been into it with her nigga all day, with her boyfriend all day. So bam, as I'm rolling up, he busts in the room and he beating the shit, like just beating. I'm like, damn, what the fuck I got going?
E. Jizzle didn't want to get involved, so he decided to leave, and that's when all hell broke loose.
I'm getting my and leaving. So as I'm getting my and leaving, I guess he took that in his head that I'm finna kill him or pop him or shoot him about his female. So bam, as I'm walking to get my off the bed, he take off running out the room. When he take off running out the room, he shoot all through the walls and shit.
What made matters worse was when false information began circulating about the extent of his injuries.
So I just wasn't thinking too hard on it. Only thing that made me mad is like when I wasn't even on the internet when I got shot, but soon I logged on everybody, like, go check Instagram. I see motherfuckers out on the ground, capping like out of me, like just clout chasing type shit. So that was just made me
I mean, that's how they do. When a rapper gets shot or a rapper that dissing that was probably doing too much dissing and that ops caught up to him. They'll clown you on that. Like, they'll clown you and chase clout, all that. They will do that. That's what some people on the internet do. Being real.
realized that a lot of these being these for attention or for the image.
People were claiming credit for something they didn't do, exaggerating his injuries, and trying to build their own reputations off his misfortune. Then came the most controversial claim, one that would further deepen the animosity between E.B.G.E. Jizzle and Pooh Shiesty.
Right. I believe Pooh Shiesty posted something like, damn, that he this and now he can't even walk.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
According to E. Jizzle, Pooh Shiesty contributed to spreading the false narrative that he was paralyzed, even though Shiesty had nothing to do with the actual shooting.
Yeah, he ain't had to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of, he ain't had nothing to do with nothing. But get back going.
The beef escalated further when both camps began to experience real-world consequences that went beyond social media posts and diss tracks. For E.B.G.E. Jizzle, the conflict with someone as high-profile as Pooh Shiesty began affecting his business opportunities in ways he hadn't anticipated.
I just feel like people scared to f with me because who I don't f with, you know what I'm saying?
The reality was that being at odds with a 1017 Records artist signed to Atlantic Records and backed by Gucci Mane came with serious industry implications. There were concrete examples of opportunities that fell through specifically because of the beef.
I think it was signing up Saturday night. It was a record label though that was finna sign me. Like we had met with each other, did a whole lot, did like going to studio sessions, all this. Then they hit my little brother, which my little brother, my manager, they hit him up like, they ain't want to lose their relationship with other artists, so they ain't want to f with me type shit.
The label had made their choice, and it wasn't in E Jizzle's favor. Throughout all of this, the personal nature of the beef was evident in the way both sides approached it. For E Jizzle, this wasn't just about music or money, it was about respect, truth, and the codes of the street.
Like, it's like, I never did, but like, where we come from, like, this to the grave, like, hell no, we don't forgive or forget.
This statement made it clear that from E Jizzle's perspective, this conflict wasn't something that could be easily resolved with an apology or a sit-down meeting. The disrespect ran too deep, and in the streets where they both came from, certain things couldn't be forgiven or forgotten without consequences. But as the smoke from that burglary settled, what came next wasn't just rap drama, it was real. Charges, shootouts, betrayals, and a new generation of Memphis rappers trying to survive a city that eats its own. Blood, charges, and street codes. To truly understand the weight of this beef and why it carries such gravity, we need to examine the criminal histories, the cases they've beaten, the time they've served, and the street credibility that both EBG Jizzle and Pooh Shiesty have built through their actions, not just their words. This is where the line between rap persona and real life becomes dangerously blurred, and where the consequences become life-altering. EBG Jizzle's involvement in street life began early, far earlier than most people realize. His first major brush with the law came when he was still practically a child.
Man, I had like I think it was an attempted murder, but they dropped it to assault. I had ended up getting one of my family members. Matter of fact, I got a two of one of my family members, and then it just went the wrong way, and I ended up catching a little attempted murder charge. I ain't just gonna speak on it because I fuck with my uncle now.
At just 13 years old, E Jizzle was facing an attempted murder charge stemming from an altercation with family members, a charge that would eventually be reduced to assault. The pattern of criminal behavior only escalated from there, eventually leading to something far more serious than his initial attempted murder charge. At 16 years old, EBG Jizzle was sentenced to juvenile life, which in the Tennessee system means incarceration until age 19, though good behavior can lead to earlier release. What made the situation particularly painful for E Jizzle wasn't just the sentence itself, but who was responsible for him receiving it.
And plus my best friend at the time, he ended up snitching on me. Yeah, he ended up telling this.
Okay, so your best friend snitches on you during this case, and then it leads to you getting juvenile life?
Yeah.
Being betrayed by someone he considered his closest friend added an extra layer of trauma to an already difficult situation and taught him harsh lessons about trust and loyalty that would shape how he moved through the streets for the rest of his life. After serving his time and being released, E Jizzle faced another major legal challenge that would determine whether he'd spend the majority of his adult life in prison. In 2020, before his rap career had really taken off, he was arrested on a murder charge, facing potentially 15 to 25 years in prison.
15 to 25 years. My first offer was 17 years.
The prosecution's initial plea deal would have essentially taken away the rest of his youth and prime adult years. The circumstances of that murder case and how he beat it reveal the complexities of street violence and the Memphis justice system. The case against him was built primarily on witness testimony.
Nah, but I really knew like that. I ain't even like it was just, they were going out some he say, she say. You see what I'm saying? So they just going by what a would say. So somebody told them something, but when it was time to come to court and trial and shit, you know, he didn't want to take the stand and testify.
And when it came time for trial, the key witness refused to take the stand, resulting in the charges being dropped. Now, turning our attention to Pooh Shiesty, his legal troubles reached a different level of seriousness when he was arrested for shooting at King of Diamonds, a popular Miami strip club.
And Pooh Shiesty was arrested for shooting at King of Diamonds. Now, he has been accused of shooting a security guard there. We don't know what happened, but they said a crowd jumped in trying to grab some loose cash because somebody knocked money out of his back pocket, and that's when reportedly they are saying that he brandished a gun as he was being escorted out by the security guard.
The incident allegedly resulted in a security guard being shot in the ankle, though witnesses reported seeing Pooh pass the gun to someone else who fled the scene. The King of Diamonds case was just the beginning of Pooh Shiesty's federal legal troubles.
You know, I hope that's not true.
Well, there was no gun or shell casings found at the scene.
While the physical evidence from this particular incident was limited, it was part of a larger pattern of behavior that would eventually catch up with him in a much bigger way. The federal case against Pooh Shiesty became serious enough that it threatened to end his career and freedom for potentially the rest of his life.
But Pooh Shiesty has pleaded guilty to one charge in his federal case. That means he's no longer facing a possible life sentence. So this resulted in prosecutors agreeing to suggest no more than a 97-month prison sentence.
The plea deal he ultimately accepted called for just over 8 years in prison, though the judge had discretion to sentence him to up to 20 years. The specific charge that Pooh Shiesty pleaded guilty to was conspiracy to possess a firearm in furtherance of violent and drug trafficking crimes, a serious federal offense that carries substantial mandatory minimum sentences.
So that one charge that he is pleading guilty for is conspiracy to possess a firearm in furtherance of violent and drug trafficking crimes.
By taking the plea deal, he avoided the possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison, but he still faced nearly a decade behind bars at a crucial point in his career. But for both of these artists, the streets were just one side of the story. Behind the charges and the shootouts, there were dreams, real dreams, of taking Memphis to the world stage. From the trenches to the charts. While the streets and criminal cases form one side of this story, the musical achievements and industry impact of both Pooh Shiesty and EBGE Jizzle tell another equally important narrative. Understanding how these two artists built their careers, the obstacles they faced, the success they achieved, and the influence they've wielded reveals why their conflict resonates far beyond Memphis and why their music continues to matter, even when one artist is behind bars and the other faces industry blackballing. Pooh Shiesty's journey to stardom began with a combination of independent hustle and eventually getting noticed by one of the biggest names in rap. Born Lontrell Donald Williams Jr. on November 8, 1999 in Memphis, Tennessee, he grew up in the Cane Creek apartments on the south side of Memphis and spent 2 years in Pflugerville, Texas, before returning to Memphis to complete high school through summer school. He began focusing on music at age 18, initially working independently by creating and posting his own videos on YouTube, which amassed millions of views before he ever had major label backing. The origin of his stage name combines personal history with street credibility.
I was in the womb, I was still in the belly, she rubbed Mr. Pooh. And it went from there, whole neighborhood, Mr. Pooh, my family, everybody.
The Pooh part came from his childhood, when he was still in his mother's womb, and she was calling him Mr. Pooh, a name that stuck with him throughout his neighborhood and family. The Shiesty part was added later, reflecting the street lifestyle and the perception that he wasn't someone who could be easily trusted or crossed, creating the perfect name for his brand of menacing Memphis street rap. Pooh Shiesty's career officially kicked off in 2019 with his commercial debut, Hell Night, featuring fellow Memphis rapper Big 30, released on March 15, 2019, with its music video dropping on February 19, 2020. The track garnered over 6 million views, establishing him as an artist to watch. Throughout 2019, he maintained consistent output with releases like Shiesty Summer on August 20th, 2019, Choppa Talk with Big 30 on August 23rd, 2019, and Day One on November 25th, 2019, building a loyal following in Memphis and beyond through his raw, aggressive style and authentic street narratives. The turning point in Pooh Shiesty's career came in a way that sounds almost too good to be true, but is absolutely real.
Me in the bed, middle of the night, one day, he texted me on Instagram.
Did you believe it or did you think it was a lie?
I couldn't believe that shit.
How old were you then? Because you're only 20 now, right?
Yeah, I'm 21 now. I was 20.
Okay. Oh, that was last year?
Yeah.
So he just sent you a DM?
Yeah, he texted me, he said, "What's up, home?" I couldn't believe it. I grabbed my phone, get up.
Gucci Mane, one of the most influential figures in trap music, reached out personally via Instagram DM after discovering Pooh Shiesty's music, specifically mentioning the track Main Slime as what caught his attention. The conversation between Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane that night would change everything.
He said, "This my number, FaceTime me." I FaceTime him right there. We was on FaceTime for like 6 hours.
Word.
It was already like 3 in the morning though.
A 6-hour FaceTime conversation in the middle of the night with both artists still virtually strangers demonstrates the genuine connection and chemistry that Gucci saw in Pooh Shiesty. This wasn't just a business decision. This was Gucci recognizing something special and being willing to invest time and energy into developing it immediately. The signing to 1017 Records, an imprint of Atlantic Records, came in April 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, which meant that much of the initial deal was handled remotely.
We flew to Atlanta, yep. But it was like I got signed during COVID, so everything locked down and shut down and everything over the phone.
The difficulty of keeping such massive news secret for even a week shows the excitement and impatience of a young artist finally getting his big break. Now turning to EBGE Jizzle, his path to music was quite different from Pooh Shiesty's calculated rise. Born Eric Gills Jr., he hails from Memphis, Tennessee, and his stage name carries deep personal significance.
Yeah, we named these after my little brother, E. Belzer. He died in 2015. It was a car accident he was hit when he was driving the moped and shit. Nigga ain't try to do it. It was an accident. So we put the gang under him type shit. We started E. Belzer gang when he died, and we just been pushing it since.
EBG stands for Everybody Bleeds Gorilla, but more importantly, the gang and movement was named after his little brother who died in 2015, making the name a constant reminder of loss and the motivation behind everything he does in music and in the streets. EBGE Jizzle's approach to rap was initially more casual, something he did on the side rather than viewing it as a potential career.
Like when he passed and stuff like that, like that's when you picked up the rap, or you know what I'm saying, it kind of took some time for it.
I wouldn't say, like, I had been, like, you know how we just fucking around, like, writing raps and shit. But, like, nah, they didn't just make me take it serious. I ain't started taking rap serious till, like, a year ago, I'd say.
His brother's death didn't immediately push him into rap. Rather, it took time for him to realize that music could be a vehicle for expressing his pain, telling his story, and potentially creating a better life for himself and his crew. The breakout moment for EBGE Jizzle came with his track Rumors, which was actually created before the Back in Blood controversy, but was released after.
I had been made the song like a year before I dropped the type shit.
The song had been sitting on his phone, being played for people on the block and in his circle, receiving positive feedback long before it was officially released, showing that he had the talent all along. He just needed the right moment and motivation to take music seriously as a career path. His approach to making music is notably different from many modern rappers who craft every bar with precision and spend hours perfecting verses.
So, you know me, I just put my life on beats type shit. Like, I just be like real deal going in and writing about shit that's really occurring, like what I'm doing type of shit. Or what I'm seeing.
This raw, unfiltered approach contributes to the authentic feeling of his music. Listeners can tell that he's not manufacturing a persona, but rather documenting his actual life experiences, making his music hit harder for those who connect with that reality. When Rumors was finally released, the response exceeded his wildest expectations.
I knew the song before I ended on my story and shit, and everybody used to be just like going crazy about the song, like send me this song hard. But I ain't never think it'll be at like where is it now, 8 million views and shit.
8 million views for an independent artist from Memphis who was still learning the music business represents a significant achievement and validation that his message and music resonated with a large audience hungry for authenticity. By releasing his music when the beef with Pooh Shiesty was already generating buzz and people were curious about his perspective, he capitalized on the moment without it seeming calculated or opportunistic. He was simply telling his truth at a time when people were ready to hear it. One of the most surprising developments in EBGE Jizzle's career was getting the attention and support of legendary West Coast rapper Snoop Dogg.
He DM'd me on the ground one day, just like down with you. He wanted me to come out there and get up with him. So we went, me and my kid now, my whole gang went out to LA, got up with him and shit.
The fact that Snoop Dogg personally reached out, invited him to Los Angeles, and wanted to work with him gave E. Jizzle instant credibility and opened doors that would have otherwise remained closed. But fame doesn't erase history, it amplifies it. Every lyric, every diss, every rumor becomes part of the legend. In the end, this beef wasn't just about who won or who lost, it was about what Memphis creates and what it takes away. Two artists from the same soil, shaped by the same pain, turned that pain into power. One found himself behind bars, the other found himself blackballed. But through it all, they both left a mark that can't be erased. Because in Memphis, the line between
Pooh Shiesty did do that. Pooh Shiesty probably looking at a good life